All right, give this one a try. We're putting this into standard notation. Send it to me in the chat when you have it. Danelle, you shouldn't have changed the number 1 here to a 6. I don't want you multiplying these numbers. I just want you moving the decimal. Good, Brayon. Okay. Lorraine, your decimal needs to move. It shouldn't be in front of the 1. All right, I'm going to switch over to my whiteboard. I think I may need to stop share and then reshare with the whiteboard. All right, so it was 1 times 10 to the negative 6th. Okay. Remember, if there's no decimal, the decimal is actually right behind the number. It's right behind 1. So I can say this is 1.0 if I want, or just 1 with a decimal. This is a negative 6, so we're moving the exponent to the 6 times to the left. We're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we're going to fill in these empty spaces with zeros. So your answer is 0.000001. That was 5 zeros in front of the 1. 5 zeros. All right, I'm going to stop share and go back to the PowerPoint. Okay, I want you to try, which one do I do? That one. Try this one, please. Hey, Alex, if you're in bed, I would suggest getting out of bed. Or at least sitting up straight. Because it's not nap time. Okay, hey, Serenity, you need to move the decimal out in front. Good, Justice. Good, Dario. Good job, Mia. Good job, Giovanni. Oh, wait, Giovanni, you're missing a decimal. Good, Aries. Good, AJ. Okay, I'm going to send out the correct answer in the chat. Okay, 0.00568. So we moved the decimal 3 times to the left, and it's 0.00568. Okay, we learned this the other day about putting it into scientific notation. So I'm gonna let you try. I'm gonna switch back to my whiteboard. It was 212,000 though, was the number. So you're putting this into scientific notation. So go ahead and try. If you like totally get this, you don't need to listen to me because you understand. Go ahead and ignore me and just put it in the chat. But if you need a refresher on this, go ahead and look at the whiteboard. All right, so step 1 is if there's no decimal, you put 1 at the end. Step 2 is you put a decimal behind the first number. Okay. Then we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is going to be 2.12 times 10 to the 5th. A bunch of messages waiting for me in the chat. Okay, decimal goes behind the first number, Minna. So behind the 2, not behind the second 2. Behind the first 2. All right, I'm going to clear this. Let's do one more of those. Okay, please put that into scientific notation, please. Good, Alina. Good, Shy. Good, Peyton. Good, Janelle. Good, Brayon. Good, Dario. Good, AJ. All right, we're getting the hang of this. We're doing good. Good, Justice. Good, Brandy. Good, Aliana. Good, Giovanni. All right, let me rewrite this. Okay, so our first decimal goes at the very end. When there's no decimal in a number, it goes right at the end. Okay, our second decimal goes behind the first number, so behind the 4. Okay, see 4.207, that's how we're going to start our answer. Okay, but then we're going to have to count how many times we move the decimal. So we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So times 10 to the 6. Oop, that's supposed to be a 6. 10 to the 6th. Good, most of y'all got that. Okay, I'm going to switch back to my PowerPoint. All right, so I need to show you something. So if you are not looking at the Zoom screen, right now you need to be looking at the Zoom screen. All right, so we know how to write big numbers in positive scientific notation, like that one we just did. So today we're gonna write small numbers in scientific notation. So this is what a small number looks like. It's like a decimal. That is a small number, like way less than a penny. Okay, we're talking tiny, tiny, tiny numbers. So here are our steps. Step 1, if there's no decimal, put it at the end. But there is a decimal, it's right there at the front. Okay, step 2, put decimal after the first number that's not a 0. So the first number is not a 0, is 8, so the decimal is going to go behind the 8. Okay, then we're going to count how many times it would take to move the decimal back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, because this is a small number, you kind of have to stop and think about it and say, okay, this is a small number. My exponent should be negative. So your answer is 8.3 times 10 to the negative 6th. Okay, don't put positive 6, you're going to get it wrong. All right, let's try this example. Step 1, if there's no decimal, put 1 at the end. All right, there is a decimal, it's right here. Step 2, start on the left, put a decimal after the first number that's not a 0. So it's right after the 9. Then we're going to count how many times we need to move it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our answer is 9.45 times 10 to the negative 5th. Times 10 to the negative 5th. All right, so I'm gonna let you practice one now. So let me jump back over to my whiteboard. Sorry, I'm moving around a lot today. Okay, so here's our first number. Okay, and that is 5 zeros right here. I know it might be kind of hard to see on your screen, but that's 5 zeros in front of the 2. So go ahead and give that one a try and put it in the chat. All right, let me scroll back up. Good to know. Fabian, would we just talk about whether big numbers and small numbers and whether your exponent should be positive or negative? Good, Alina. Good, Peyton. Brandy, I think you need to count again. Good, Brayon. Good, Chai. Good, Fabian. Good, Dario. Justice, I think you need to count again. Good, Aliana. All right. Aries, you're missing half of the answer. All right, so step 1 was if there's no decimal, put 1 at the end. Well, there's a decimal right there, so we get to skip that step. Okay, so step 2 is put decimal after the first number that's not a 0, so it goes after the 2. See this 2.7 right here? That's the beginning of our answer. Okay, then we're gonna count how many times we need to move the decimal. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So times 10, and this is a small number, so it's gonna be to the negative 6. 2.7 times 10 to the negative 6. Good, let's try another one. Okay, that is 4 zeros right here after the decimal. Go ahead and give that a try. Put it in the chat. Okay, some of y'all are getting these real quick, which is great. All right. Step 1, add decimal if there is none. There's decimal right here, so we don't need to worry about that. Step 2, put decimal after the first number that's not a 0, so it goes after the 1. So 1.23 is the beginning of our answer. And then we got to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a small number, so it's going to be to the negative 5th power. Oh, that kind of got covered up. To the negative 5th power. Good. Some of you are funny. You send me the answers after we've already gone over it. All right, so we're going to take a break from this and switch to an activity. We'll come back and practice at the end of class. Oh, let me get my... All right, so I've just received some very urgent news that I need to share with you. Come here, PowerPoint. All right, I have just learned that you have a long lost great Uncle George. Long lost great Uncle George. You didn't know he existed. You just found out he was family. You got a great Uncle George you didn't know about. Here's the bad news. Uncle George is dead. It's very tragic. He was fighting a shark. The shark was trying to attack a boat. He punched the shark in the face and the shark ate him. It's very, very tragic. But he went out a hero. Poor, poor Uncle George. So the good news is that Uncle George was a billionaire and he left you everything he had. Okay, so let's see how much money you're inheriting from Uncle George. You're getting $85,456,847,210. It's a lot of money. Okay, so what I want to know in the chat is what you're going to spend the money on. And you guys can tell me, oh, I'm going to donate to charity. I'm going to buy a mom a house. Okay, let's assume we're all buying our mom's houses. I want to know like what you want with the money. Okay, you can tell me all the nice things you do with the money. I want to know what like you're going to buy for yourself. So go ahead and tell me that in the chat. And I'm going to go ahead and stop recording now because all we're doing is doing some more practice problems